So thank you so much for coming on today and joining us. You will see that I have my lovely two assistants with me today, who we will do introductions for very, very shortly. So today is all about prospect conversion. So converting from a lead to an intro, so getting them on the mats to an intro lesson, and then when they're on the intro, getting them to convert to become a student. So the reason that I've done this is because I've been doing a lot of research recently. The industry isn't performing as well as it always has. Now, I don't know if you guys are noticing this with your student numbers, but we see from our figures and also from speaking to instructors every day, we're hearing that it's harder to sign students up. So you guys are putting a lot of effort into marketing, you're putting a lot of money into marketing, but you're finding it harder to actually get them to commit and to sign on the dotted line to actually become students. So I've done a bit of research into it. I've had a look at what you guys are doing, how other industries are performing, how the general economy is performing, and it is all quite difficult. Everyone's having a tough time. So in doing my research, I came across these two lovely gents who actually have incredibly good conversion. So their sign-up rates are very good. Their conversion rates are excellent. So without further ado, I'll let them do their own introductions and then we can grill them and try and find out some golden nuggets for you to take away and implement in your own clubs to make sure that you're getting the best out of the money you're spending in your marketing and getting more people actually on the mats. So, Stuart, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and your club, where you're from?
Yeah, no worries. So, yeah, obviously my name's Stuart. I teach kickboxing from my gym, Alexandria Kickboxing Academy. We are up in the kind of Western Bartonshire area of Scotland. I've been running my gym for around 6 years now after taking it on from my former instructor. We had something like 29, 30 members at the time, and we're now currently at 170 with a full-time facility.
It's amazing. Brilliant. Sorry, just on that as well, the reason I wanted you to kind of expose the numbers that you have is because it's very easy for a small club to have strong high conversion rates. These guys have actually got quite substantial sized clubs. So it's important to know that we're not talking about small numbers here. These guys actually have a large number of students. It'll be really interesting to find out what they're actually doing on the mats. So thank you for that, Stuart.
No worries.
Danny, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Danny Harper. I'm from DNA Judo. We started off with one academy about 12, 13 years ago in Ingleton, which is North Yorkshire. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's quite a rural place. And then I've had one of my students in the last couple of years decide that they wanted to do a similar job to myself. So we started DNA Judo and opened another academy in North Lancashire. So started off with a club in Morecambe. And then since then, we've also opened another club in Barron Furness and Ulverston. Called Furnace Judo Academy. Across the three academies now, we've got 254 students, and it's just going from strength to strength, really. Obviously, with a judo club, and I've done judo since I was 6 years of age, and just loving the coaching part of it now as well.
Brilliant, brilliant. So are they three full-time academies?
Yeah, three full-time academies. We've got two other coaches that work within the DNA Judo setup. Gary and Evie, and and we're looking hopefully to in the autumn maybe open another one in the Sheffield area.
Wow, taken over. That's really cool. Be interesting to see if you operate the same processes in all the academies. So yeah,
Yeah.
can't wait to hear all about that. Just so that you guys know as well, these two have never met each other before. So this webinar is the first time they've actually spoken to each other. So it'll be really interesting for us to understand if they're doing the same things in their academies, if they follow the same processes, what their general ethos is. So yeah, that'll be quite interesting to see if what you're saying is similar or actually you operate in completely different ways. So okay, so again, just to give you a bit of background on this before we get stuck in and ask the guys questions, the reason that these two stuck out for me particularly is because in doing this research, and you'll see that I put it on the Facebook community, the average conversion rate, and I only looked at people who are actively using the prospect system. So this wasn't data that's dirty because of people that don't use it. I'm looking at people that I know actively use the prospect system. And it's showing me that the conversion rate from leads to intro, so the people that actually book to come to a lesson or make any contacts at all and then come, is about 51%. It was a bit lower when I exposed it on Facebook, but having looked into the data a bit more, it's about 51%. The conversion rate from intro to sign up is much lower. That's shocking because in the past, we've always thought that good conversion rates are about 75% and 75%. That's what we would view as an excellent conversion rate. These guys actually excel even further than that. I think Stuart's is about 85% both ways, and Danny very similar. So they're not only getting people to trial lessons, but they're actually booking pretty much most of them that get on the mats, which is, it's really just booking the trend. So we want to know what they're doing and we want to be able to follow the processes, right? Okay, guys, so we'll start with whether you even know about your conversion rates. Were you aware before I called you what your conversion rates were? We'll start with you, Stuart.
I had no idea. I knew that we were quite good at getting people onto them. Well, once they were on the mats, we were quite good at getting them signed up just through our chat, etc. I'll not go too much into that yet, but yeah, I didn't realise the actual numbers. I didn't know the percentages. I didn't know the rates, nothing like that. I just knew that we were relatively good at, if we could get someone to show up, then we would probably get them to sign up.
Yeah, which is true. Danny?
Yeah, same as sentiment as Stuart. Really, we had no clue that we had such a good conversion rate, and similar to Stuart there. Like, we'd have people come on the mat, and by the end of the session, we kind of knew they wanted to sign up. So yeah, it was obviously a lovely surprise to find out that bit of data. But I've also at the moment trying to get a business coach on board to help me look at the KPI stuff that's on the Nest management system. It's just one of those things when you've got academies opening up and you're trying to organise like the coaching as well. That sort of stuff sort of slips to the back of your mind a little bit, and I suppose really it's something that, if the tool, we could use it a lot more. It's just getting the right people to analyse that data so we can use it to see if we're doing well or not.
Yeah, definitely. So is it fair to say, because you anecdotally knew that you were doing well, just by, I guess, just by feel, just by knowing that when they come in, they're going to join, it's not something you looked at because it's not a problem you need to fix. So you just don't really bother looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's never been an alarming thing for me. I suppose if we had like 5 or 6 players coming a week and none of them signed up, I'd start to be a little bit worried about what we were delivering, really. But in terms of people turning up and then you just get them signed up and they're doing a direct debit, and yeah, it's pretty streamlined, really.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. So listen, I want to try and drill down into kind of the mechanics of what you're actually doing, because if there are any good takeaways here for the guys watching, it would be good for them to understand that and be able to implement it in their own club. So we'll break it down into each part of the prospect journey just to see what actually goes on in the academy. So firstly, when someone books onto a trial, by the way, do they all book straight onto a trial lesson or do they contact you first?
Sometimes I get contacted first, Louisa, yeah. But I found that I was answering the same email or the same message over and over again. So I started to use like automated responses on my Facebook page and things like that. And I've also set up an email address for each of the academies with an automated response on that as well. And I know there's that thing of, is it personal or not personal? It's still like a very personal message in terms of we're looking forward to welcoming you to the club and things like that. But on that message, it's got the link straight away. So you could argue it's not personal because it's an automated message, but it's that weighing up that balance between whether you leave an inquiry for 5 or 6 days till you get round to answering it, or whether it's answered straight away. And I found that it's really helped us a lot in terms of when they've got that message, is there any availability for this class? And it answers back to them with the link straight away. They usually go straight on and book it. So I see the same name that's in the inbox of the Facebook page also on the as a prospect in like a matter of 20-30 minutes, because I
Wow,
suppose at that moment in time they're really keen to sign up.
so actually, whether we agree with the unpersonal touch or not, the reality is it's working.
But yeah, definitely, it's working for us 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so if we can start, we'll start with you then, Danny. So you've got a two-prong approach. You've got one where they just contact you through Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook or email. We have flyers, so the flyers have a QR code on that go straight to the booking site on our website, which is obviously a MyMA website. We have Facebook advertising as well, and Instagram advertising that also pinpoints the ad straight to the booking page. That's dead easy for them to sign up. And then obviously all the automations through Nest. So we try with a three-prong approach there with people who are interested in judo that don't know about the club or don't know anyone within the club. And then obviously we've got very good kind of word of mouth in the areas that we work in. So we've got a coach in Furness who works in the shipyard at Barrow, one of the biggest employers in that area. And obviously everyone seems to know everyone in Barrow because of that type of thing. So we get a lot of word of mouth through people knowing Gary, who's the coach. I think with Craven, with it being in the area, small, close-knit community, as Ingleton is, and the surrounding like hamlet towns around it, there's a lot of families that have come through the club. So even if their kids have left judo, they've left with a good experience. So when people are putting on Facebook groups, is there any clubs for my little Jimmy? We get a lot of people advocating for our club, so that's a benefit there. And then with Morecambe, we've got ties there from some of the schools that we've worked in before. And Evie, obviously, coming in doing a degree in Lancaster, she's around that area quite a bit. So it's a mixture of both, and I suppose one helps the other. So when you've done all the Facebook marketing, you've got people in for even if they're coming for a few months, even when they leave, we make that a nice transition that they're always welcome back and things like that. And then when anyone's talking about the judo club, they always want to say, oh, they had a really good time. That wasn't for them, but they had a really, really good time and look after type of idea. So it's a full circle for us.
So when you put your marketing out, you think you've built quite a good awareness in your areas of who you are. So it's not the first time they see you when you market. When they contact you, you think they probably know about you already?
Yeah, definitely in Craven and in the Furness area, because Furness, there was a judo club before us, and we actually helped rebuild it up basically because it stopped over COVID. I knew the guys who were involved with that club, and we worked together. And Gary himself was actually one of those. So there's a lot of advocates in that area for judo already. Craven's one of them. We've been there for a long time. Morecambe less so, to be honest. But again, that's something that we're working with Eva to try and make sure she's known as the judo lady in that area. And so getting into schools and stuff like that and delivering judo. So when she's walking around that area, I only text the kid to go, that's Evie, the judo lady. And then people start to, I don't know, become more like knowledgeable that it's there in the area, that you're constant fitting. So
okay, so they contact you, they get an automated email back or a message with a booking link, and then they book onto a trial.
Onto a trial, yeah.
Okay. And once they've booked onto the trial, does anything happen then between them booking and them coming?
So we get the automated message set up from Nest, obviously. And really, we kind of leave it down to that. The only time we would really get in touch with them is if they have booked on for a session and they've not turned up. In which case, I'll try and send them a message. Person say, "Oh, we're aware you were booked on. We didn't see you. You're welcome to come back next week if it wasn't really didn't work out for you that night, or if you forgot about it, we'd still love you to come down to the club type of thing. So I guess that's maybe where the personal bit comes in for people who have kind of not turned up, whether that's a powerful thing or not. We do get some people do turn up after chasing them in that way. But yeah, that's all we do really.
Okay, so from the moment they book, they get their confirmation email, they get their text message from us the day before they turn up. But as far as your contacts, you would only then contact them if they don't turn up for class.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. That's it really.
fair enough. Good stuff. Good stuff. Stuart, what's your process?
My mind right now is like me and Danny don't know each other, but we're the same person. It's we pretty much do exactly the same thing. So my process is the same. We take very little action until they come through the door after they've already made their trial booking. So if they're already booked in for a trial through Nest, we leave them alone until they show up. If they don't show up, then obviously we will make contact with them and tell them like, listen, we understand things happen. If you want to try and book in for another trial next week or another day that suits you, let's get that organised, etc. Try and make that kind of part of it personal. But if they've already booked a trial, we tend to leave them alone until they either show up or don't.
Gosh, and that is crazy because, obviously I'm an advocate of automations and communications, but throughout the time that I've been here, it's come across as very important to many, many people in the industry that prospects should be called, you should be messaging them every day, they should know you inside out before they walk through the doors. I wonder if, Stuart, be interesting to know if I know you were talking to me about the kind of community efforts that you do as well in the club. Is that the same for you, that you have quite a strong presence in the community?
Yeah, so when when I'm talking about trying to gain trials, right? So if we were trying to get people to come in for trial lessons, I'm a member of my local community council. We've got a group up here called Active Schools, which promotes clubs to be able to go in and go around the primary schools and academies, to deliver trial lessons for martial arts and stuff like that instead of PE lessons now and again, to try and give them something new, to kind of learning new sports, getting them some interests and stuff. And very much similar to what Danny was saying, I was grinning that we give out flyers with QR codes on the back. And it says something like, well, on the front, actually, it's not a flyer. We do something a little bit different. We do a certificate, and it's a congratulations, you've completed your first ever kickboxing lesson, etc. So it's like one of those stick it up on the fridge, look what I've did, rather than a flyer that lies in the bottom of a school bag. And then when the parents look at it, they flip it around to the other side and it says, for example, your journey doesn't have to end here. Here's a link to get yourself booked in for a free trial lesson, and it's got the QR code, and they can instantly just book on, and they don't have to contact us or send us any messages or anything. They just scan the link, and that's them straight in for a trial. On the flip side of that, we do have the odd person who will message us on Facebook, etc. But again, very similar to Danny, we have automations in place for our marketing. So if the contact is out of the blue and they've not gave us that code word that's going to send them back the automated message, we will have to get back to them personally, which I don't mind doing now and again. But if we were to do like a marketing scheme, or we were to do like a paid ad or something on Facebook, we would do a call to action. So I could say, for example, send us the word trial to get booked in for a free trial, and they would send us the word trial, and it would send them an automatic message out with the link to get them signed up straight away, and then we don't actually need to speak to them when they do that.
Okay, that's really interesting. And what percentage come from the active? What's
From
it called?
active schools with the council. So
Yeah.
it's kind of peaks and troughs. So obviously, when we've been in schools, it doesn't tend to be always the first time you've visited a school that you end up getting quite a lot of people back. It's once the kids tend to know you, and you like, I've been in a position before where I've been went into a primary school, and they've went, oh, there's the kickboxing guy, because they've done kickboxing with me before, and then it kind of gets drilled into their heads. You tend to find that maybe 4, 5, 6 times someone has seen you or heard about you, etc., is probably by the time that they're going to actually try and make contact and book a trial or show their interest. It takes a few. They'll not like it. I've found very often that people who see you once, it will just go over their heads, but if they're seeing you everywhere, then it's a lot easier for them to be able to take that step.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the 7 touch points of marketing, they call it in technical terms.
Okay.
And you're absolutely right. What I'm getting from that is that when people book on to a trial lesson with you, they kind of already know you quite well before they book. So perhaps that mitigates the need to communicate with them once they've booked, because you know that they probably know you quite well anyway before they have booked.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. You know, people say to us, have you not got a Facebook campaign that works that will get me 100 leads? And we say no, because there is no one Facebook campaign that will get you 100 leads. They will have seen you at school. They'll have spoken to a mum that sends her kid there. They'll have heard about you at a fete. They'll have seen you at an assembly. And then finally, when time is right, then they'll send their child to do a trial lesson. So yeah, it's unfortunately never the case of one successful campaign.
Yeah, so a bit of context on that for me then personally, I'll give you a wee bit of numbers. So I started in January this year with about 96 members, and since then to today's date, I've ran one Facebook ad for 7 days, and we're at 169, 170 members right now, and I've only ran one ad, and I ran it for a week.
So all you've done is one Facebook ad.
One Facebook ad, one paid Facebook ad, and it was literally targeted for going back to school. And it was like, get your do your kids have everything they need for going back to school? Do they have their pencils? Do they have their school bag? Do they have unbreakable confidence? And then obviously we go into the spiel about selling the martial arts.
Yeah.
But that's the only ad that we ever done.
So a lot of students are coming to you through referral.
Through referrals, through schools, through knowing us, through someone else, or seeing us about.
Yeah. And I think that's similar to you as well, Danny, right? From what you were telling me.
Yeah, so most of it is from knowing us. So we have like what we call PAT schools. So most of our judo clubs actually run from schools originally. The Craven Judo Academy was a school in Ingleton, a school in Settle, one in Bentham, one in Kirby Lonsdale, which is the local towns. And then we would go in each year and deliver a free open day. So every child in the school did about half an hour of judo. We give them a flyer when they finished. So they went home. Everyone, we're on judo today. The school put it on their Facebook page, and we kind of copied that model with all the other clubs that we do as well. So that's how we get into the community in that way. In terms of, and we book that in every year. So every year we do that with these schools, and we offer it out to other schools as well. So we've got that part of it, and that's our bread and butter. I've only really started doing Facebook ads really from kind of May time. I've done them on the run up to opening our new academies before as well, but that goes hand in hand with when we do the open day in the school that we're launching the club from. So it's kind of like we don't know the data really on that, whether they've come from the open day or whether they've come from the Facebook. And then we've been really lucky in terms of had a lot of good publicity through the local paper, and also BBC Radio Cumbria as well came down to the club and did a bit of a show on the club, and that went all over viral around Facebook and the internet and stuff. So it's quite hard to like really pinpoint where all these prospects are coming from. But it's, like I said, I think it's a multitude of things. But being known in your area, I think, is a massive, massive plus.
That's absolutely what I picked up from you two when I was speaking to you both separately, that it was being known in the area that primes them. It primes them to come to the lesson, which is really, really important. Danny, did you like Stuart's idea of giving them certificates after one?
Yeah, I thought it was cool actually. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I never really thought about doing it that way before.
I always just thought that it would be something slightly different compared to what the normal other,
Yeah.
let's say, competitors. But let's be honest, it's not just martial arts that we're competing against. It's dance schools, football, etc. But
Yeah,
all these people who come into the schools and they do all these trials and stuff, it's always flyers. It's always flyers, and
Yeah.
flyers end up getting put into the bottom of a school bag, and then the bag gets emptied and everything gets binned. So,
Yeah.
a
Yes.
certificate
It's
is
an- I
more.
can-
It's an exciting.
Yeah.
It's look what I got today. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gives them that
The
sense
word
of
on-
achievement.
Yeah, the wording on our flyer is exactly what you said before. It was like, well done for completing your first session. It's time to take it further type of idea, but it is in the form of a flyer. So I think you're right there, mate. I'll sneak on that one. Certificates is a good shout.
I like that. I really like it. Paul Grady's actually said in the comments, we get most of our tasters from active schools engagement as well. So that's really good. Really, really good to know. Yeah, for those clubs that aren't engaged with their local schools, it is a really very difficult to get in. But once you're in, it's that.
It's very, very worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so find your local school sports partnership is, and I know for the judo guys, our national development officers are really good at that. So I'd advocate anyone in the north of England. Ours is Maddie Thompson. So if you get in touch with her, she's really good on that sort of stuff.
Brilliant. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so we've heard about a lot of the build-up, a lot of what happens, what the work and the effort that you guys do to get people to know about you and then to book onto a trial lesson. So at this stage, all that work has come to fruition and they've booked onto a trial lesson. Now they turn up. We also know that ones that don't turn up do get a call from you, which is perfect. The ones that do turn up, they walk through your door. I want to know what you do because I know that these guys are converting about 85% of the people that walk through their door and get on the mats. So listen intently. Danny, can we start with you? Tell us what happens the moment a student comes through your doors?
So usually what I'll do is they'll normally arrive like 10 minutes early. So if it's the first class, it's not a problem because I'm there and I'm just waiting for the class to start. But if it's in the middle of the class, what I'll tend to do is get one of the other coaches on the mat to look after the group, watch over the group while I go and make contact and talk to the parent, talk to the child. If they're looking a bit nervous, like, don't worry, we'll look after you, and all these reassurance. I shake hands with the kid in front of the parent, introduce myself properly, and then I just say how it's going to work. So you sit down and watch this class, and then you can come on and we'll sort you out with your own judo suit that you can borrow for today's session, and get your belt on, make sure you're all signed up, and then at the same time be like, do you know any of these guys that are in the dojo already from school or from other clubs? Is anyone that you know already? And if they say yes, then I buddy them up with that person so they'll get looked after by someone that they know. If they don't, then I normally get someone who I feel in the club, in the class, is quite a caring kid and get those two to buddy up together. So basically, it's all about giving them a positive experience, making it have that sort of family vibe to it. And it's not like they come into a martial arts club, they're thinking they're going to, it's a bit scary. They might get thrown around or get hurt or whatever. It's just not that type of thing. We're not bullies. We're here to look after one another, have fun in the way of doing judo. So it's kind of like just calming all the nerves, making them feel comfortable. And then you always get those kids who are like so nervous they don't even want to come onto the mat. And with those kids, I'm like, no problem. Have a sit beside, and like if you want to come on when you feel ready. There's no stress. I'm not going to force you to do anything you don't want to do. You come and engage with judo, watch it. You want to join in at any time, you can do. But if it's too scary for you, that's fine. And I'll say to the parent, I'll have a chat with them outside of earshot of the child and say, if they're not coming on this week, doesn't mean they won't come on next week. It's just build them up, and you know them better than I do. So if there's anything I can help you with to get them on the mat, then let me know. It's that sort of individual, personal feel that makes their kid feel really valued, not just as a random person coming to the club, but then our newest member type of idea. And that's something that I've done with all the kids, and that's something that I teach all the other coaches in our other academies to behave in the same way. It might not be even them that do it, might be another member of their club that they get, and they're the ones that nurture the kids to bring them onto the mat. But it's all about being friendly and nice, really. But that's like part of the club environment I want to build. So that's the atmosphere that we want.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. How does that compare
Yeah,
with your?
Very similar again. So before the kids even come into the class, we have the login, the setup for the register. So we've got the rebooking set up on the iPad before they even come in the door, and I make sure that I'm not standing behind my office worktop. I'm round at the side, waiting to greet them as they come in the door. When they walk in the door, I'm going to sound a bit weird here, right? But when they walk in the door, I don't speak to their parents at all. I ignore the parents I speak to. I just spend my full time talking to the kids. So, for example, I'll say, "Hello, you must be Joe Blogs." When they say yes, I'll do like a wee mini celebration based on their age. So if it's like a 46-year-old, I'll be like, "Yes, the magic iPad was right." Or I'll be like, "Yes, it's good to meet you," etc. If it's a wee kid a wee bit older, I'll give them a high five, and then I'll give them the standard procedure for coming through and coming onto the mats and taking part in the session. So like socks and shoes off, where to put your jacket, that kind of thing. If they seem shy and it's a younger kid, then I'll let one of the parents maybe come through and sit on the mats with them at the side. We've got a wee kind of internal benched area in the gym where they can, like, the kids can sit and get their shoes and socks off, etc. So we can let some of the parents sometimes come in and sit on there to watch, if that helps the kid feel a little bit better. And then from there, it's literally just about making sure they have the best fun and most engaging, encouraging class that they can have, and that they're buzzing by the time the lesson's over.
How do you do that?
It's just what we do.
Yeah.
It's just what we do. So when we do warm-ups, instead of doing like a traditional like exercise routine, we'll play games. We'll play dodgeball. We'll play tag. We'll do different variations. When they do their training, we make the punches and kicks, etc. that we do as kickboxing. We'll make them as fun as possible. So, for example, the simplicity of a front kick. Sometimes, if they're in the 46-year-old class, we'll get them shouting, make them go hiya when they're doing their kicks, make them make loads of noise. Just trying to make sure they're always smiling throughout the entire session. Make them have the most fun. If they're not smiling, then in my eyes, then there's a problem. So we just make sure that they're having the best time possible, whether it's a new start that's been for their first time or whether it's someone that's been in the class for years.
Yeah.
The big thing for me is actually the current members' parents. So we have a waiting area in our gym, and while I'm in dealing with the kids and I'm making sure that the kids are having the best absolute time, the parents are sitting in the waiting area. And with the strength in our community, majority of the time I come out after my class with the kids absolutely buzzing to have finished their class, to the parents saying, "How do we sign up?" Because the mums and dads that are around about them have been talking about what kickboxing's done for their kid, how good we are with the kids, how much time and effort we put into the training, and it sells itself. My club sells itself. So
yeah,
by the
great.
by the time that I walk out with the kids with a big massive smile on the face, the parents have got their debit cards in their hands ready to go.
That's amazing. So the parents are actually selling it for you while you're
Yeah,
doing.
so obviously when we run trial lessons, we run trial lessons at in alongside our mainstream class. We don't have like a separate trial lesson that's based just for beginners. So there's parents of kids that have been in the class for 3 or 4 years, and there's kids that are coming in for the first time. And the mums and dads of the long-term members sometimes will sit in the club to wait in the classes. We've got a wee honesty box for bottles of water, etc. So they'll sit and they'll talk and have their peace and quiet while their kids are doing their class. And then when the new parents are coming in, obviously they want to sit and watch because it's their first time their kids done the class. They might be shy, they might be nervous, and the parents just talk to each other. They'll just be like, "Oh, is this your wee one's first night tonight? Yeah, so my one's been doing it for 4 years. Absolutely love it, etc." And by the time I come out of the class, I have that much confidence in that part of the class that I don't really need to. I feel I don't really need to sell to the parents. I just make sure the kids are having a great time.
Oh, that's amazing. Is that similar for you, Danny?
Yeah, so we have our parents in the dojo watching the session. So they're sat next to one another, and a lot of them they know one another as well. So they're talking to each other, someone that they know, and then they're like sort of I didn't know your kid did judo. Oh, he's been doing it for ages, type of thing. And they just bounce off one another. And then on top of that, they're seeing the kid enjoy every minute on the mat, getting looked after. And then when he come off the mat and they just want to come back. It's just, and then it's just rolls like that every session. That's the science behind it, just looking after people, I guess, and having your advocates at the side of the mat and really pushing your club.
Yeah, definitely. That's really, really interesting. And I suppose, as most of us would call it, the sales process, does such a thing exist, or is it just organic? Does that just organically follow? Do you have a process whereby you then approach the parent? What does that look like in your club? Danny, starting with you.
I don't really have that, to be honest, Louisa. I'm one of them where probably too chilled out with all that. They come to me usually and say, so how do we sign him up? How do we sign up? So every Tuesday morning, I set up the direct debits. You'll get an email on Tuesday morning. So if it's on a Monday night class, you get it tomorrow. If not, you'll wait till next Tuesday. Just keep bringing your kid down, no problem. And I'm so chilled out with it like that.
Right.
And because it's not hard sell, they know it's more of a community vibe. And I think that's something that is really powerful for our club, because at no point am I going, please come, please come, please come. So if you want to come, come. Our club's here. It's never going to leave, like, and that's how I do it, really. I just think it's more, I don't want to have to sell judo. I want it to be able to sell itself, and I want the club to be able to sell itself. And that's how I run it. I'm probably too blasé with it. The business coach would say that anyway.
So if they come on a Wednesday, they would have to wait until the following Tuesday.
Yeah.
And they do. They fill it in the following Tuesday when they get the DDs.
Yeah. But then they could come down on the Friday class, or they could come on the Monday class in between, and they just get another free trial session until it comes around to that Tuesday. Just makes my life easy, because that Tuesday morning is the day I go tick, 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 do you direct debit, and then that's them signed up then.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Stuart?
Yeah, so this is one where I'm slightly different. So when the kids come out of the class and the parents have been talking to the parents and the kids have all had a great time, I'll wait until they've got their socks and shoes on, they're starting to get packed up and ready, and I'll ignore the parents. I'll speak to the kid. I'll come over and like, oh, did you have a great time? Did you have loads of fun, etc.? You want to come back? And then they look up to mum and dad. And then that's when the conversation with mum and dad starts. So we then speak to the parents. We'll give them the kind of options. So I heard, Danny, you mentioning that you just have a flat rate for everyone, regardless of. It's just like let's say 4 nights a week, and they just pay a set price, and that's them, whether they come 4 nights or whether they come 1 night.
That's right.
We're slightly different, where we do a membership based on how often they train, and I've got it's like a flyer on a poster on the wall about all the different prices, etc. Of the training. We offer a optional starter pack, and the way I do it is we do their starter pack covers their pro rata fees, and we can sign them up on the spot. So I use the iPad that we use to do the timetabling and the register, and we can sign them up on the spot. We give them their uniform. We'll give them the rest of their fees pro rata. So let's say they're joining on the 17th of the month, and they're not going to be paying anything till the 1st because of the direct debit setup. We will say that you'll get the rest of your training for free right up until then, so you'll not have to pay for anything. If you do the starter pack, you'll get your uniform. You get I've got a wee drawstring bag that they can put their stuff in. You would just value crunch on it. We say that you get your license and insurance, and we charge £59 for it. So if they pay that £59, then that's them up until their direct debit starts, and that'll be them good to go. And yeah, obviously based on the prices of what you get your uniforms and stuff for, would depend on the price of your starter pack. But we try and keep it as lean and as neat as possible. And it gets them over the line.
Yeah, we do a slightly different with the geese.
Yeah.
With the geese we do a slightly different thing. We go with we lend them a club gi, which is one that we've got like that we use for the schools or whatever. And we say that's your, and they come back and they try to give me it back. I said, are you coming back next week? And they go, I'm coming back next week, Mum. And they'll go, yeah, if you want to. This is, well, that's your gear, you keep it till next week. And you can, and so about getting his own gears as well. We give you like the first month with a club key. And then at that point, we expect you to buy your own. And we'll send them in. And what I've not got around to doing this, like you, Louise, but this is my next automation for Nesta I want to do, is that I want to try and make it so after a month of them signing up, it automates a link to our pro shop, so they can buy a gi. So your club gi period is over now. Please purchase your gi through this link. Type of idea.
Yeah.
But then they've had what I was trying to sell to the parents of that is that we don't want you to buy a gi for 50 quid, and then 4 weeks down the line they turn around and say, oh, judo's not for me, because we're not about taking money off you. Do you know what I mean? Let him really bed himself into the club or her into the club, and then at the point where they say I want to be a judo player, then we'll get you gi as well. So that's kind of how we tend to do it. But we don't. I suppose I don't know. It's like for you, Stuart, but for me, when we run our class, I don't have that time in between the sessions, just because of the way I've structured the classes, really. So when one class ends, the next one begins. So if I had like 3 or 4 trial sessions going on within that session, I won't have the time to go through and have that conversation with them all, because it'd be eating into the time of the next class. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So it's something that I try and just, I don't know if I'm doing it right really, but it seems to be working. But yeah.
We're with the layout by proxy of our gym, we have to have a time limit in between each class. So instead of us having for example, instead of us having a full hour session for kickboxing, majority of the time they're 45 minutes. Right. And that gives a 15-minute window in between each classes where we can have these conversations. Our gym's upstairs and above a garage. So, so we need that 15 minutes for people to get down the stairs before the next lot come in, or it would just be absolute carnage.
Fair enough.
We used to not be like that. We used to be on the hour every hour, same as yourselves, but it's just because we got so busy, and we're 170 people a week coming through one door.
Yeah, nightmare. Yeah,
it's crazy, man. So we have that 15-minute window in between, and obviously it helps with the kids getting in and out and the new classes coming in for their next session, or it also helps with me having that conversation with parents and stuff for that wee 15 minutes before the next class starts.
Yeah.
Stuart, sorry, can I just say something? Did you say that you do get the parents to sign on the night?
We give them the option. Very, very much similar to Danny there, where we're quite passive with it. We're not like hard sell, you must buy tonight. If you're going to do it, let's do it right now, kind of thing. I'm really laid back. I'll go like, listen, if you want to sign up tonight, we can sign these up tonight. If we want to come back in for another trial next week and we can get you set up next week, that's not a problem. Just let us know what you want to do. And again, we leave it down to the kids and the word of mouth for the parents. If they're that keen that they want to sign up on the night, we can facilitate that. But if they want to wait until next week and come back next week, or for example, if they've signed into a class that's really busy and they just want to get up the road, then they'll send me a message later on in the evening or whatever, and I'll just get it sorted as and when it arrives. Whether it's next week or whether it's on the day or during the day the next day, because as I said, my gym's full time, so I work all my classes in the evening and I do all the admin during the day.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting to hear that, because so many schools have thought, particularly within martial arts as well, is that you must sell on the night. No. The parents there, the students there, you must sell, you must get them to sign up on the night. It's so interesting to hear that actually your biggest sell comes in not trying to push them to sign up on the night. It's that laissez-faire, yeah, we really want you here, but we want you to be here. So our club's here. If you want to join. If you don't have to join. We're still going to be here. It's so like, it's such a confidence that you don't have to sell, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't want to end up feeling like salesmen.
Yeah.
Hard sellers and jumping down people's throats, because in a martial arts perspective, that's not what it's all about.
Yeah.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Yeah, I just don't like that myself, so I couldn't be like that myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like people trying to hard sell me stuff. Like if I'm in a shop or anything. I'm like, nah, sorry, mate, I can't talk to you anymore. Do my head in. And I don't want to be that same guy. So it's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually you don't have to. And I think this is the same
Yeah.
for everyone out there. Your product is so powerful, it sells itself. And there are so many other elements that have sold it along the way and that are selling it there, i.e. the parents. You don't actually then have to go through the process of selling because the job's already
No.
done.
Yeah.
So I think that's a massive takeaway for me, that, you know, don't rely on these processes. Don't feel like you have to go out and learn how to sell. Don't feel like you have to engineer it to the nth degree. It's actually just a culmination of all the amazing
Yeah.
things you do over
Rather than putting
more
your
of
efforts into that, Louise, I think it's putting your efforts into the experience that the participants have, whether it's a child or an adult. Make sure they have, like Stu said before, like the best session ever.
yeah,
Like
customer
the
service,
best.
customer service.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
But
then
without thinking about customer service, I don't think you guys even, it's just organic. You don't
yeah, the kids had a
proactively,
great time. The
yeah,
parent can see what their child's going to benefit from this activity for the next sort of 3 months, 4 months. Like,
yeah,
why would I not buy into it? I'd be
yeah,
stupid not to. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
kind of
absolutely.
where I want to be at by the end of the session and by the time they leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got parents that have done put their kids into our summer camps who have never had anyone babysit their kid in their life, and we've been the first person to look after their kid for 4 hours in a day.
They trust you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mad.
that's really lovely. That's really lovely. And embodies everything you're trying to get across with martial arts. Listen, with only 10 minutes to spare, I did want to talk to you about your general retention, but actually I think you've covered that off throughout telling us about your processes. It's very clear to see that this isn't just a conversion process. This is a lifetime of the club process. It's the work that you do in the community. It's the connections that you make with schools. It's now the longevity of the clubs. It's the way you treat people in the clubs just naturally leads to this retention. Because something I didn't mention to everyone at the start of this is that it's not a coincidence that these guys also have very low attrition, therefore very high retention. And it just goes hand in hand. You know, the experience that their students are having is then what prospects see when they come in for a trial lesson. So it all very much goes hand in hand. And I don't think we need to get you to go into much detail about that. I would say, while I ask you this question, if any of you guys watching have any questions, please put them in the chat, and I will ask the guys. I can see Scott Mallon's actually really kindly provided us with a leaflet that he provides when he does school events. So that's really kind. People, please do access that. The final question that I have for you is, of all the things that you do, if you had one piece of advice that you could give to instructors that potentially are struggling with conversion or even retention, what would that piece of advice be? Stuart, I'll start with you.
For me, we've already covered it. For me, it's just prioritize the student experience, and they will do the sell for you. If the kids have the best time in the class, then the parents, they'll not even need to think about it. They'll just want to order a uniform and
Yeah,
get signed up.
brilliant. Thank you. Danny?
Yeah, obviously, I agree with exactly what Stuart said there, but also something that we've not touched on today was how easy it is for the parents to make that decision to say yes. Obviously, they've had the really top experience, but when it comes to signing up and it comes down to the nitty gritty of the money side, is for me, I have a flat rate fee for all our classes, so and it's across all the academies as well. So when they pay that fee, they can come and train as many times as they want, but not just at our club. They can also train at the other academies as well. So, say someone from Ingleton was in Morecambe for the day on a Thursday, then they could turn up and train there as well. So it becomes like sort of just an easy sign up. It's not a decision to make. Or how many times should we go and all that. Yes, this is the money. This is what you want to do judo. This is what you have to pay. And that's kind of it, really. And yeah,
So you make the options really
just make,
simple.
Exactly, just make them simple, yeah. So people just go,
Yeah.
that's what class is in, that's what you have to pay. And we come as many times as we want to.
Excellent.
And also that thing of like, when they're going from one class to another, you know, we run the same classes 3 or 4 times a week at the Craven Club. And they say, oh, do we need to tell you if we're swapping class? So no, if you've got like a doctor's appointment on a Monday, you can't come to our Monday class. Just turn up the day after. You don't have to tell us, just turn up. It's just this is the timetable, come whenever you want type of idea. And I think that leaves a really positive aspect for them as well.
Definitely. Okay, so we do have some questions from people. Keith has asked, it's funny because we were talking about this just before we went live. What is your top tip for advertising to childless adults? Not heard of it referenced like that before. Not as part of a family, just adults by themselves. So do you advertise for adults?
Me personally, no. My adults class is 75-80% parents of kids who are members. I use the current base of people that are already halfway through the door to bring adults in. We do have classes for adults, and we do have the odd person come out of the blue and join for a trial lesson, but I don't chase them, because the biggest base is through the people that you already have halfway through the door. You already have a group of parents and adults sitting in your waiting room while the kids are doing their lessons. So I would sell to them more than I would try and sell to someone who was totally random that had never stepped foot in the gym before.
So you don't purposefully go out to look for
No.
adult students, you just rely on the parents?
No, we focus priority selling, advertising, marketing on the benefits of martial arts in children and kids. And when the kids join, again, we've got kids who have joined for 6 weeks, and then the parents have joined shortly after. We've got for quick context, we've got a guy who has a boy who's trained for 4 years in kickboxing. He's only joined himself maybe about a year and a half ago, and he's now lost 5 stone, and he's posting it all over social media.
Yeah.
So it's literally, I don't advertise for adults at all. We talk about it in class. We talk about like the parents when they're in having their general kind of socializing, their chat. If we're giving it a wee bit of banter, a wee bit of jargon, just talking away to the parents, etc. When the kids are in their class, we'll say, oh, if you want to come down, come on down. Oh, I'm knackered. Get a bit fitter, get a bit of shape in you, let's go. That kind of stuff. We sell more to the parents in the gym. We don't really chase adults outside the class, because it's as you said, it's difficult. If Keith is finding it difficult, it's difficult. Go for the easy option.
The easy option.
Yeah, that's
Danny?
Yeah, so I echo Stuart in terms of we get a lot of parents on the mat, and it's probably the majority of our adult class at Craven is definitely parents. But then we do get some linking over from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. So I train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I've got a bit of a working agreement with the club in Kendal that their fighters can come and train with us for free if our fighters can go and train with them for free. So that's sort of we're not really making any money out of it, but it's making a nucleus of adults. So when new adults walk in, they go, oh, well, this is pretty cool, actually. There's quite a few adults on the mat. So that's one thing. And then the other one, Furnace is a weird one, because when it restarted, a lot of the guys that were on there pre-COVID were like 16, 17, 18, and now they're in their early 20s. And because of the nature of Barrow as a place, not many people leave and never come back. They normally work in the shipyard. So we've got a lot of lads there that are like 18, 19, 20, up to the 30s. And so what we do with those guys that are obviously advocates for the club, started as teenagers, come all the way through, got the black belt, is we do bring a friend nights. So for those guys who are working where they're working, they can go in and say, do you fancy coming out judo? It was a bring a friend night type of idea. And then we usually get a few people starting from that, because that nucleus of friends come in. It's like going down to the pub, innit? They're going down to judo with the mates type of idea. And then we get a few that stick from that. So that's something that we've done as well. So it's kind of like using your adults that are already in your club to be the advocates to bring more adults in.
More organic.
We try. Yeah, more organic. I mean, we have had people come and join us from Facebook as well. Like, but they're not very many, if I'm honest, in comparison. One of the things I put on there is when I'm targeting, I target jiu-jitsu as well as judo, because a lot of the jiu-jitsu guys want to do judo to learn takedowns, because there's more of it within the judo than the jiu-jitsu. So yeah, it's cross training and being open to that as well. Like, so yeah, that's our adult thing really.
Okie doke. I hope that helped a bit, Keith. So Laura has expressed that she's having real issues, and I've heard this a lot, Laura, actually. She's having issues getting leads from Facebook into trial lessons, so actually getting them into the studio. We asked them to fill in a form to contact us and book them in. And then when we get in touch on the same day or the next day, there's no response. I'm hearing a lot of that, Laura, that you're getting contacts through from Facebook ads that are then just ghosting and not coming back to you. I'm not sure if that's anything that you guys can help with, because you don't really do too much advertising, but are you experiencing that with any Facebook ads?
Mine's not so bad, Louise, to be honest. Is this, Laura, is this for kids or for adults that you're talking about? That might make it easier for me to respond to both. Yeah, so for and when you say fill out a form, is that the form for a free trial lesson, Laura?
Probably a Facebook lead form, I would have thought.
Okay, so I just direct, when I do my Facebook marketing, I just do it as a website traffic advertisement. So I'm just the purpose of that link is of that advert is just to send them to the website. So when they sign up, they're not making any other form other than the one that's on our MyMA website, and it's the one that's adding them to be a prospect immediately. So then they get the automations automatically, and they've already booked up for a free trial lesson. So they don't have to fill in a form for us to get back in contact with them. They've already booked on for a free trial lesson, and then they get automated. It's coming. I mean, we do get some that don't actually turn up, and when we try and ring them back, they don't come. I think but it's mostly adults that for us, rather than children. But yeah, that's what I'd try and do, is try and push it, direct your marketing ads to a link, or the link that signs them up for that's what you're doing. I've seen that, yeah.
Well, it is no, because it will be a Facebook lead form to get them to provide details to then book a trial lesson, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But
Okay.
yeah, I think that does answer it then, Danny. Get that Facebook ad to push them to the website so they can book on.
Yeah, straight away. It just cuts down that as least clicks as possible. Just that type of idea, isn't it, to try and get them signed up, basically.
Yeah. The less steps they have to take, the easier it will be for them to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Martin Dixon has made a really nice comment that the biggest standouts from this procedure, I think he means from the webinar from you guys, are the two links: the certificate of achievement and are you coming back, and to bring back a gi when they come back next week. So they're the two takeaways that Martin's got from the webinar, which is excellent. Martin is British Jiu-Jitsu, the head of British Jiu-Jitsu actually in the UK, so he'll resonate with you, Danny, and you're on the floor grappling. So Kevin Shortall has asked, what's the ideal reminder time for a trial class via MyMA? Is it an hour before class or 4 hours? So do you guys have any other reminders set up apart from hours?
No.
Just have the normal ones, yeah. I don't have any, just as it was set out, really.
Yeah, I think ours reminds them the day before, Kevin, and I think they go out about 9 o'clock in the morning. But you can also message them. You can send an email. You can't send an automated SMS at the moment, but you can send an automated email, and you can do that at hours before the lesson if you want to. Okay, I haven't had anything in. Keith said thank you both for your quite different answers to my question. And we haven't had any other questions come through yet. We've actually, you know what, bob on is 2 minutes past 1. I think that's damn good timing. and probably time to wrap it all up. So if we don't get anything else through, I would like to say a big, big thank you for you two for coming on here with me today. It's been really useful. It's reiterated what you told me. It's obviously been very useful to the people attending because no one's dropped out in the hour. So I think you've had everyone gripped there. We've got lots of thank yous coming through from everyone. So I hope you all found it useful. If you do find it useful and you want to look at other webinars, they are all stored for the people for clients, Nest clients, they're all on the toolkit, your Nest MyMA toolkit, where all of our marketing material is stored. So you can go in there. We also store these on our website. So if people who aren't with Nest want to have a look at this and previous webinars, they will be on our website library. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying these. Keep a lookout for future ones that are coming through. Send us ideas of things you want us to talk about. I thought this one was fascinating. So again, from me and all the people who've watched and will watch, thank you, Stuart and Danny. That was absolutely excellent. And keep up the good work. It's fascinating.
No problem.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.